Although the wedding invitation said adults only, Mary Sylvester was forced to bring her 8-year-old Tommy. At the reception hall, Mary quickly surveyed the scene and after dinner, when she noticed Tommy becoming tired, decided on a planned action. She carried Tommy out into the dimly lit hall and wrapped him in a light sheet, 3 times his size. She carried him down the hall and laid him down behind an old Victorian chair beneath a window. "Sweetie," she said, "Mommy will be back to check on you in a little while. If you need me, I'll be right over there in that room." Tommy nodded sleepily. Mary was relieved as his eyes shut immediately. She gave him a quick kiss and then covered his head with the sheet. Initially, she was concerned with the loud music coming from the reception room, but Tommy had always been a heavy sleeper and apparently, it didn't bother him. She returned to the reception, got a drink, and started dancing. Soon, the word spread, and the whole reception was abuzz. Apparently, Steven Spielberg was filming a movie outside in the parking lot. Although that was big news, the fact that Brad Pitt was in the film and outside shooting a scene at that moment really caused excitement, particularly among the ladies. Well, a small group of ladies went out into the hall to investigate. They tried several windows, but they couldn't get a decent view. Then one of them pointed out a window in front of the chair. It was higher than the others, surely it offered the best view. She tried standing on the chair, but it looked too expensive and unsteady. Then she noticed a clump of sheets behind it. "What's this?" she asked as her shimmering black dress turned to her friend next to her. "I don't know. See if it can support your weight." With that, the woman in the black dress smiled and placed her left black 3 heel on the bundle and stepped up. Tommy awoke immediately, just as the woman's right foot landed on his face. The heel of her left foot stabbed into his stomach and the heel of her right sunk into his cheek. He desperately tried to move, but he couldn't. The little air he had left in him could produce enough volume to overcome the music pouring from the reception. "Oh my God," said the woman standing on Tommy. "I see him. I can see Brad Pitt." She jumped up and down, and as she did the heels ground into the small 8-year-old. "Let me see," shouted the woman next to her as she stepped up onto Tommy's forehead with her white 2.5-inch heel. It was the kind of heel that had an extremely narrow tip, and the pain Tommy was suffering was intense. The woman in black then shifted over to give the woman in white a better chance to climb up. As she moved, the heel pulled back the sheet on Tommy's head, but the darkness and the woman's interest in the window concealed his agony. The black heels dug into Tommy's groin and stomach, and the white heels made their marks on Tommy's chest and his now exposed lower cheek. Blood began to run from Tommy's head, but the heel remained. The lady's combined weight prevented him from speaking or moving. "Our turn," cried the other 2 women in eager anticipation. Tommy could see from his position the third woman. She was a blonde with an elegant sleeveless black dress. He prayed she would look down and see him. She did look down, but the shadow prevented her from distinguishing his features in the dark. Tommy desperately tried to move his hand out to get her attention, but it was still beneath the blanket. Before he could remove it, the third woman stepped forward, and her strappy 3.5-inch heeled sandal stepped heavily on Tommy's wrist. The heel landed right in the center of his palm. She felt the uneven footing, but thought nothing of it. Being impatient, the fourth woman, wearing a scarlet suit dress and 3 red high heels, forced her way onto Tommy, stepping on his exposed face with her left shoe. The heel slid down his temple and planted firmly into his right eye. Her other foot landed softly on his upper forehead. Tommy was in agony, the pain and the blood. He thought he was going to die. The first and second women shifted, allowing the third woman access to Tommy's chest. She stepped off his wrist and onto his chest in one swift movement. Tommy couldn't breathe. The heels of her sandals ripped into his chest. The combined weight of the 4 women was literally crushing the boy. The heels stabbed into his legs, groin, stomach, chest, and face without mercy. The women continually shifted their weight. "Where is Brad?" asked the woman in red as her left heel twisted brutally in Tommy's eye. Oh, I see him. There they stood trying to glimpse the movie star as a young child was slowly dying beneath their feet.